Hey everybody, welcome. Today we are going to be reacting to a video. The title is I Hooked Up with My Airbnb Host. This one should be interesting.
Hey guys, it's Alana and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, oh boy do I have a story time for you. When I went to LA, there was one thing that I didn't tell you guys about, and that is I hooked up with my Airbnb host. Also, I have a fun surprise for you, so make sure you keep on watching and find out what it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the story. So I checked into my Airbnb on Friday, and he wasn't around until maybe later on that afternoon after I had finished working out and had made myself something
Pause.
to eat.
Why
And
would the host be around unless she
just
just like maybe rented out a room instead of the whole house? That's a little bit weird, but let's keep watching.
Ooh, he's pretty cute. But like, Alana, nothing's gonna happen. You're not here to like
I know main character syndrome when I see it.
So I thought nothing of it, but other than like, oh, this is a good looking dude. Saturday rolls around. I didn't really see him that much. I feel like we talked for like a little bit, but it was nothing too serious. I think he showed me, I can't remember if it was that day he showed me a picture of his dog, and we talked about dogs and pets and stuff like that. When I was talking to him, we were talking about like our star signs, how he's a Pisces and I'm a Scorpio, and how those
Do
two
y'all
signs are
believe in zodiac signs?
compatible.
Because I just
And
can't
we
with the
were
zodiac
vibing pretty
signs.
well.
And also, it seemed like oh boy game was tight from the jump. Like he probably does this on a regular, but okay.
Comment saying, yeah, you know, if you had lived here, you would probably be my girlfriend. And I was just like thinking, no, because earlier you told me you didn't want kids. Guys, like that's such a big turnoff for me. I cannot date a guy who doesn't want kids because I want kids. No way would that work. So he's just better off as like hookup material, and like, you know, I had to tell him that. Unless I feel like you want to change your mind.
I don't personally believe in hookup culture, but that's just me. I think it's a little too messy and too much going on. But y'all can let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments below.
I'm back from BeautyCon that night, and I was just done and tired for the day. He was home, and I basically got to just talk to him because I wanted to talk to him. He seemed like a really cool dude. Initially, you know, I talked about like my love for makeup and everything like that. I showed him like the big bag of stuff that I got, but I didn't show him like every single thing. And it's funny, I was telling him like, you know, I'm wondering if I should do a haul video and go on live because I'm not gonna have any time to edit my video for Monday. And he really pushed the ideas, like, you definitely should do the haul video. Because, yeah, we talked about my YouTube channel a little bit, so that's kind of how our conversation really got started. And he thought it was really cool that I was doing this whole YouTube thing. Talked a lot about, like, my bikini stuff, too. And this is kind of where, like, the sexual tension, like, starts to take off. So, after I had filmed my
hot
haul
and ready
video,
like Little Caesars pizza. Oh my goodness.
I started talking more about like my bikini competition stuff. He was looking at a lot of my videos and a lot of the pictures that I showed him because again, like I thought he was cute, so I had no problem showing my body off to him. It was what I found him cute, I would not have shown him. He was like complimenting me on my body and everything, like, yeah, you got like a nice body, everything, like this is really awesome. And eventually, I guess the conversation just got really dirty at some point. I spent like all night talking to him. So I think we started probably talking from, I want to say like maybe 8 until midnight. Guys, this conversation got so dirty. Part of the conversation started with like me like not having like any kind of sex drive while I'm on prep. But for some reason, my body decided to make an exception for him. Talking about like what turns us on, what have we
already know
done.
He got him one, so I don't know why you're trying to
very
beat him up
dirty
the
and
bush.
very explicit.
Boys, we got one.
But I wanted to be a tease about the whole situation. I was trying to convince him that I'm not gonna hook up with you, but like I really wanted to hook up with you.
The way things were kind of progressing, he already knew what time it was. He already knew. He probably does this a few times a week, to be honest with you. But okay.
About a lot of like sexual stuff. I could literally see him getting turned on. I saw it, no shame. Eventually, he starts commenting on my chest, and it's fine because I didn't care because I was like already sexually attracted to him. So at the time, it was like appropriate, pretty much consensual at this point. And then eventually, we were just kind of like talking about whether we wanted to do it or not. And he was saying, well, I'll let you get some sleep and we can do it in the morning because I had to be at the airport.
Welcome to my editing pause, guys. The footage got totally jacked up at this point, but what Homegirl is saying is that they have started getting a little hot and heavy on the couch in the living room or whatever like that, And then they moved on to his bedroom. And baby, you couldn't waterboard this information out of me. People who tell your business to the internet for free, do y'all have family members? Because my family members would stage intervention on everything I love. But let's listen to the rest of this story.
But an experience. Unfortunately, we did not have sex. But other sexual activities did happen. And in my definition of hooking up, because everyone's definition of hooking up is different, as long as sexual activity has partaken in any, it doesn't have to be penetrative sex in order for it to be considered hooking up, at least in my definition. The reason we didn't have sex was you had a yeast infection, which was pretty unfortunate to hear. And I appreciate the fact that he told me that, otherwise I would have destroyed him if he didn't tell me.
Okay, I'm genuinely confused. How is he telling you that you have a yeast infection? Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing, but okay.
I really wanted to have sex. And of course, the one opportunity that's presented in front of me. Guys, I'm so frustrated by this. I'm not gonna get too explicit. I can let you imagine what happened. Guys, let me tell you, if we had had sex, it would have probably been amazing.
She got a little graphic right here, so I had to cut this part, but basically they did what they did for about an hour and then she took a nap.
Out for maybe 15 to 20 minutes because it was basically time for me to having to get ready to leave for the airport. So it was really unfortunate that it lasted for only that night. I said goodnight to him. I said, thanks for everything. You are a great host. And I took my things and I hopped in the shower and then I left for the airport. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't stop thinking about that night as I was on my way to the airport, and all throughout work the next day. It drove me crazy because I was kind of sexually frustrated at that point. It's fine, I had a very great experience, a very great unexpected experience. But guys, it gets a little bit.
So now she's just talking about they had a little back and forth flirting in the private review section of Airbnb, and she left him a really good rating and he left her even better rating, and that was pretty much it. All right, guys, so that was the end of the video. Y'all can let me know what you think. Me personally, I got second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth hand embarrassment. It was a lot of tea for strangers. It gave very much oversharing teas. I felt like I was listening on a conversation that probably could happen with her and her homegirl or her and her sister or something like that. It was just a lot of information. Like I said, me personally, I'm not a big fan of how, the hookup culture has been so, normalized. That's one of those words everyone loves, right? I'm not a fan of it, but y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I'm also just not a fan of the oversharing. So this was a little interesting for me to listen to. Y'all saw me blushing all throughout the video. But I definitely will leave her video link in the description so y'all can check her out. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Peace.